everyone, welcome to Lay It Out, the No Bullshit Science podcast.
With extra bullshit.
I'm Kiri.
And I'm Alice.
And she's Demelza.
Woo! For some reason in my mind there, I heard you saying with extra bullshit instead of me.
Why?
I don't know, but I was like, Kiri's going to say my line.
What the fuck?
I don't know. I think maybe I'm a bit dehydrated.
Apologies if we sound like we've been recorded through an actual potato today.
It's because we're recording through a potato.
We forgot cables and shit. So, here we are.
Soz.
Yeah.
How
are you?
Not bad.
How's things?
I'm in a bit of a weird mood. I'm not really sure why.
You do seem a bit weird right now.
A bit weird,
Are you coming up to a period?
No. No.
You're a bit weird.
Yeah. I don't know.
I have a PSA I would like to make.
I'm a bit confused.
Why?
Just about where this is coming from.
Okay, listen, right. So summer's here.
Yeah.
It's hot.
Yeah.
People sweat.
Yeah.
And I just need people to have better hygiene.
So who are you trying to reach here, Kiri?
Just the general population. And
I feel like there's people you're trying to reach.
No. Just the general population in the environments that I'm in. I keep getting whiffs.
Ugh.
So, I'll walk down the street and I'll get a whiff. Or I'll be on a bus and I'll get a whiff. I'll be in the office and I'll get a whiff. And I just need people to realise that it's hot. You'll sweat. So please wash. Please use some deodorant. Even if you can't smell yourself, just assume that you smell and use some deodorant. If you do some laundry, then please make sure it is thoroughly dry and not damp before you put it on. And then
that's a bad one.
And then sweat on it.
That's a bad one.
It's just, I just think for the sake of everyone else around you who have sensitive noses, it would be greatly appreciated.
I really wish you'd tell me who you're talking about. Will you tell me when we're not recording?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Right, that's all.
Nice. Okay, how are you?
Yeah, I'm alright.
Other than that,
My nose being assaulted multiple times.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm good.
Nice.
I don't have much to update as
Do you not want to talk about your exciting thing that you're doing tomorrow?
Oh, God. Okay, so I go to this gym called Manor. Shout out to my Manor London.
Fancy.
It's a little bit fancy. But there's this part of the yard. There's this part of the gym called the Yard, which was like my obsession over the past year. But then it closed down for a few months for a refurb.
She made me go a few times.
Yeah, and it was great.
Yeah, it was. I died.
I made our guest go a couple of times. Well, once. Don't say. Yeah, once. And they're reopening it tomorrow after their little refurb. I've already seen it. It looks freaking sick. And they're opening it with a 24 workouts and 24 hours charity event. And I will be joining them in the 12th hour and the 24th hour.
Not one, but two.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
fancy. What's the charity?
It's called Rock to Recovery, and they help people with PTSD, specifically veterans.
Oh, that's nice.
What have you been? Oh, tell us about your weekend.
Well, I went to Dorset. It was... Sorry, everyone's really... I can't stop saying it that way.
Dorset.
I can't say it normally. It's really annoying. I went there. It was my first experience of summertime in the English countryside.
Oh, how was it? That was Demelza's entire childhood.
It was, yes. It was lovely and full of pollen.
Oh, no.
Yeah. But it was really lovely, apart from the pollen.
Wait, we have 5 people in this room. Who gets hay fever?
Yeah.
3.5. I sneezed today.
Oh, fuck off. That's the second time she said that to me.
I also did sneeze over the weekend. And I do get some days where I can feel the pollen in my nose. It just gets a bit itchy.
Shh. This is like when you try and tell me you have eczema.
Look.
No, fuck off.
Okay,
Look at this.
I get eczema on 2 fingers.
Look at this hardcore.
Ooh, that looks painful.
That is really painful.
I get eczema on 2 fingers.
Okay, we're moving on now. So Dorset. Oh, I said it normally there. It was lovely. I didn't swim in the sea, but I put my... I went up to my knees.
If you went in the sea, would that not have helped your hay fever?
I don't know.
Well,
I just took really strong, really drowsy antihistamines and then drank some wine and I felt great.
That's how you get through life, drugs and alcohol.
Yeah. the way forward. But yeah, it was very nice. And before we move on, I think we're probably wrapping up this section now.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to sneeze just to illustrate the hay fever that I have. I feel one coming. It's brewing. Okay, it's gone. Okay, are we moving on?
Yes, let's
okay,
move on.
But first of all, final PSA. Kevin is growing a third new leaf.
Oh, do you know what? I don't know why. I thought you were going to talk about your supervisor, Kevin. And I don't know what you were going to say, but in my head it went to nipple.
Curry.
I thought you were about to tell me that your supervisor, Kevin, is growing a third nipple. Okay, let's move on.
Okay.
So we have 2 guests. We're back to our normal layout. I feel like we haven't done our normal format for quite a few episodes, actually.
No, this is only the second paper of this season that I've done. We've had lots of science guests.
Why did you do that?
You keep weirdly looking at it.
Oh, sorry, we were looking at the time. So we haven't done, we're going back to our old school format today. We haven't done this for a while, but old school and new school, because we're only doing 1 paper still.
True.
But today we have 1 repeat guest and 1 new guest. We have
a veteran and a virgin.
Yeah. We had to bring on the virgin because our last one fucked it up. So if you're listening, you know who you are. We have Dan and Alex.
Hi!
Welcome.
Happy to be back. Hi to all the laid out listeners that are waiting for me to return.
Hi to my fans.
Hi to my fans.
Is this the introduction that you practiced?
No.
Okay.
Did he legit tell you he was practicing?
No.
All week he's doing it.
He told me that you two have had some sort of bit planned for the beginning.
We have a bit planned.
Oh, okay.
And you'll know when.
Okay.
Is it just going to drop and we're not even going to know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I bet it's going to be really shit. We're going to know.
They don't look very excited or hopeful.
Do you actually remember your lines?
Line. It's weird.
Oh, okay.
Welcome to the Banter Podcast, baby!
Oh, God.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay, so do we need to introduce Dan again?
So Dan is my boyfriend.
Hi.
That is all that is to know about.
Tell us how long you've been going out. How did you meet?
We met in...
How do you know Dan?
So he used to work with one of my friends, and then he annoyed me so much through Facebook Messenger and text until I eventually gave in and went out with him.
Is that your version of events also?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
That's nice.
We fell in love.
Your stories match up.
And then we'll have been together 6 years next month. Next month.
This month.
Oh.
July now.
Is it July?
It is July. It's the 1st of July.
This month. And I'll admit that Dan is better at remembering our anniversary than I am.
Well
That was
done.
some great stalking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Solid.
I always get the
I can't
date
stop
wrong.
myself.
What is? Do you know what it
It's
is?
the 12th of July,
Yes.
but I always think it's the 13th in my head.
Which it isn't.
Interesting.
Okay, I know that, but it's the 12th of July. Feel free to send us gifts. In fact, Patch, if you're listening, I really like plants, so feel free to send
Some
us
romantic leaves.
Yeah.
Heart-shaped leaves.
Yes. I'm sure.
Shape
I don't
what?
know,
Leaves.
To P.O. Box. I don't know. The way you send stuff.
We don't have a PO box.
One day.
We can't afford that.
Waiting for a sponsorship from the Royal Mail. For a PO box.
Oh,
That'd be a good one. Because
Mr. Royal Mill, if you're listening.
we're delivering all the sciences
And the banter.
and the banter. Anyway. Alex!
And edit.
How do we know you?
Dan's my boss.
Yes. So were you
In which-
dragged here against your will?
I was not dragged here against my will.
Good.
No, I was. He
Alex,
asked
get off
me.
your phone.
sorry.
It's fine. I'm used to it. Don't worry.
Aw,
What?
you hurt his feelings.
I'm sorry.
No.
Dan's your boss. I was gonna ask at which pub?
The
Current
guard
pub?
house in Woolwich.
The Guardhouse in Woolwich. Woolwich Arsenal. SE18 6GH.
So it's a different...
Why doesn't this pub sponsor us?
That's true.
Yeah.
We're not making enough money yet. But with your support layout fans.
So you were at a different pub than you were at in the
Yeah,
pub.
I'm now running my own pub.
Woo!
Thank you.
Oh, that's
It's been a
awesome.
real whirlwind. And I found an Alex.
So, how long have you guys known each other for?
3 months?
Oh my god, that's
so.
quite a short amount of time.
Wait, has it only been 3 months?
Yeah, March. Start of March.
What?
I think,
It feels like you've been around forever.
And he's
I know,
inviting
I
you
have
onto
that
his
effect on
girlfriend's
people.
podcast?
Well, actually, Curie invited him onto the podcast.
I did.
Yeah.
I said he'd be
Thank
good.
you.
So you better be.
I really hope so.
No pressure.
I've got my
Oh,
blip. I've got my
jinx.
blip planned.
It all rests on one moment.
This better kill.
All right, cool. So we're going to talk briefly about your guys' history with science. Dan, we kind of know yours. You went into it. You didn't like school.
I failed my GCSEs real bad.
Yeah.
And that was the end of my relationship with science.
Cool.
That's a nice, short, concise story. I like that.
But
Alex, is yours any longer?
Sorry, what? Oh, science. Science. Okay. Sorry.
Can you rephrase the question?
What is science?
Yeah, love science. Use it every day. I have a great relationship with science.
Interesting.
Quite open.
So did you?
I go to other subjects sometimes, but
so what was your relationship with... Was that the bit?
that was it.
That was a very good bit.
And this was laid out. Thank you for listening.
That was a very good bit.
I changed the question from relationship to history, and I had to shoehorn it in. I was like, damn.
It's now an improv class.
So did you... Tell us about your journey with it through school or...
Did you do it at any point?
How
How did you feel about it?
Did it loads. No, I took because where my school was, we did either double science, which was like everything all mashed into one, or you did triple science, which was chemistry, biology, physics.
Yeah.
Separate.
Yeah.
So I did triple science.
Me too.
Yeah. Good. Cool.
Nobody cares about your
Cool.
That's
journey.
the last time I tried to relate to you. Fucking hell.
Tough crowd.
And then did
Were
loads
you
of
good at
science. I got straight B's.
That's good.
So not terrible, not awful.
What was your
Just not
favourite?
great. Hated physics.
Oh yeah, everyone hates physics.
Chemistry was alright.
I liked it.
Didn't like biology.
So
I'm hating
did you
biology.
actually like science then?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Because so far you hated it.
Chemistry was good.
It was alright, and you weren't a fan.
No, physics was my teacher was,
Yeah.
Horrible.
That's
That
such
makes
a shame,
such a
isn't it?
difference.
Yeah.
and then chemistry was fine. The teacher was okay, but like we had kids in the class who were just like wanted to play with Bunsen burners and would just run around all the
Classic
time
chemistry.
and just
Dan,
do
were
nothing.
you one of those kids?
No, I just didn't learn. But I was in a class full of people playing with Bunsen burners. And I think I might have told this story last time, but it got to the point where one of the kids used to get the long taps that went up and round. And someone just ripped one out one day and the water started shooting against the roof. And the teacher
I
just
think you
stood...
did tell this story
Yeah,
one
and
time.
the teacher just stood there, really depressed, and just went, please don't do that. Okay. And you can just see the lights going out of her. She's just saying, all right, can we all leave the classroom, please? The floor's just flooding. And everyone's just like laughing and playing around.
You lot are shitters.
Hey, the other kids were shitheads.
I bet you laughed.
I was fully confused. But I was like, how is this water going up and down? Because
Science.
ours
That's how.
wasn't broken down like into double or triple science. We just had science.
Yeah.
We just did some science with one teacher.
So so if you just had science, how was it split into like biology, chemistry, physics?
I don't know because I didn't learn. There was Bunsen burners some days and some days there weren't. That's the best as I can remember from it.
Okay.
How old would you have been at this point?
16?
16.
GCSEs?
14, 15, 16, isn't it?
GCSEs?
Yeah.
GCSEs are 15 and 16.
Yeah, 14,
No, we
16.
did the same thing. It didn't split up into the different sciences until after your like first set of exams.
Huh.
And we just had one book, but it had chapters of different.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how would you feel your relationship?
You can tell we haven't done this for a while.
No, we haven't. How would you feel your relationship with science is now?
No, I'm kind of interested in science, especially like the climate change stuff and stuff like that. That's quite current.
Yeah.
But
relevant stuff.
I'm
Like
not-
the Saharan heat wave that we're getting.
But it's not that bad here.
No, it's not.
It's like 45 degrees.
If
in
you're
France.
listening in France, I hope you're still alive.
And not really, really sunburned.
I mean, I don't think they'd even be able to go outside. Yeah, so you like all the climate change stuff. So you're the type where would you go out of your way to look for something or to read, or if it just pops up that you'll read it?
You're like, ooh.
So, like, for example, I subscribe to a few subreddits and things like that. So when it comes up on my front page,
Yeah.
and when I'm scrolling, I'll look through it. But I'm not like, science,
Yeah.
Google science.
I do that every day.
What is science?
Cool. I think Reddit subreddits are quite a good way to actually get a lot of actually quite good information.
It depends on the subreddit.
Well, yeah.
I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
It gets very dark very quickly.
Yeah. But like I follow ones that are like explain like I'm 5 or something. And they're quite good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite nice because when you're just scrolling, you don't not necessarily looking for something.
Sorry, I'm listening.
That's fine.
Keep going.
Sorry.
Keep going.
Sorry,
I'm listening. I'm listening.
I'm sorry, you had a
Can we go
conversation.
back to the
there.
She's still not listening.
Sorry.
No, because I subscribe to some subreddits, so when you're like just scrolling through, I'm not necessarily searching for it, but then it will come up like today I learned or something like that, or some of the other science like some subreddits will just like show up and like, oh, okay, that's quite interesting. I'll read that article, and then you'll go down a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
true.
That's what I was thinking you were going to say, rabbit hole.
Yeah. I like the Today I Learned one as well.
Yeah.
It's good.
To completely flip the script on this, we were
Here
talking
we
just
go.
before you came in. There was an app we were talking about. It's been taken down today. It was a AI app where you take a picture of a clothed woman and it artificially undresses her for you, which is weird. And it costs how much would you pay for this app?
99p.
No,
£442.
very close. £40.
Oh!
This app.
That's very close.
But we were saying instead of using the internet to look for naked women, you could just type in boobs. But no, you pay £40 to take a picture of someone. It's gonna take off the clothes artificially.
I suppose it's like
gross.
those guys who go on the tube with like mirrors on their shoes just to look up people's skirts.
So
It's
disgusting.
Which is now a crime.
Yeah.
Is it? Only recently.
Only recently,
Yeah, only
yeah.
recently. Crime.
Changing these shoes.
2019.
Yeah.
Well, okay, but like you get those people that pay £40 for an app, right? But I mean, you still have people that subscribe to porn
Yeah, that's true.
and pay monthly fees for their porn. So in the
Porn's-
grand,
and they're not cheap websites either. I'm
how
pretty sure.
would you
that
know, Dan?
my current subscriptions. when you have 10 subscriptions. No, I've just seen it. I've seen it before, and they're still like 30 quid a month or something.
Yeah,
You get
it's
a
not
gym
cheap.
membership.
That's a large
I mean,
outlay.
technically, it is a gym membership,
That's
but
more-
specific.
It does get your heart rate up.
1 hour's hench, and then
Just treat yourself.
Oh, I forgot what I was going to say now. Never mind. Cool. Should we talk about some science then?
Yeah, have we done everything that we normally do?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah. We're a bit out of practice, guys. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Demelza looks disappointed.
Oh, sorry, Demelza. Okay. Here we go. Are you ready
Yes.
for some science?
Science.
Let's hope this goes better than the last time and we actually get to the end of the paper.
There were no bottles of whiskies on the table.
No.
So that's a
Does
good sign.
Alex know what happened last time?
I've heard stories.
Yeah.
I'm a bit disappointed, I'm not going to lie, but
No one bought whiskey.
No,
He bought his own whiskey, to be fair.
He did
Yeah.
bring his own whiskey.
We don't provide
He
entire
also-
bottles of whiskey.
He brought us some vodka, which I didn't realise was for us until the end.
Maybe we would have all been on the same wavelength.
Yeah,
Maybe.
it would have. That might have actually been even more entertaining.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We should do an episode drunk one day.
Maybe we'll see.
Okay, Demelza looks like it's not about.
That sounds like a yes.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, so Curie suggested this paper, and I'm just going to give a little disclaimer. I understand very little of it, so this is going to be interesting.
I mean, the classic us, really.
Yeah.
Demelza, get your phone ready.
Curie's always encouraging me to go outside of my field. This is very far outside of my field. So I had to look up what the science of animal behaviour is called. Because I couldn't think. Because like anthropology is
Humans.
human behaviour.
Yeah.
Have a guess at what? Do you know what animal behaviour is?
Animology.
No. I'd never heard it before, which I was surprised at. It's called ethology.
Oh, I think I knew this.
Have you heard that?
I think so.
Okay, well, anyway. So we're talking about animals and evolution. So evolution being the development and progression of species in which that things that are advantageous to us surviving stay, and things that are not advantageous to us surviving leave.
But evolution's not real. God made us in 7 days.
Oh, of course, yes.
As he laid out the flat Earth and
Yes.
Oh, 6,000 years ago.
6,000 years ago.
Yeah.
2019 years ago. God.
No, that's just before Christ. God still existed before Christ.
Oh yeah.
Have you even read the Bible?
I skimmed it.
So I, like every other child in the south of Ireland, went to a Catholic school, and we had this big science book. Or no, sorry, not science. We had to do religion. It was like mandatory, and we had to do exams in it and everything. And they like obviously were like, okay, we need to get going with the times now. People are starting to question this, like, you know, before Christ, after Christ, like the Big Bang. How does it all fit together? And it had a legit chapter being like, science and religion complement each other. I don't know, this type of shit. And I remember even at the time being like, yes. So where do Adam and Eve fit in?
Jesus used sex in science for his miracles.
That's the porn subscription talking.
Anyway.
Okay, so back to the paper. So yeah, evolution. So fun fact, which I learned when I was doing studying anatomy. Some people. So if you go like this, you see this thing.
Yeah.
See this tendon here.
Yeah.
Does everybody have it?
Okay, for people that are listening, because it's not a this is not a visual thing. If you put your arms down and then put your fist and then bend your fist towards you, so
Knuckle down.
yeah, knuckle down, and then there's a tendon that comes up in the middle of your wrist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you clench your fist. But some people don't have it.
Oh, because it's useless.
Yeah, because it was when we were closer to monkeys, we used to use that tendon for swinging through trees.
Ah,
And
cool.
we don't
Do
need
you
it
have
anymore.
it? Does everyone here have it?
Yeah,
I think something like 10% of people don't have it.
I'm going.
I don't think I have wisdom teeth.
That's another thing.
Yeah.
I think they call it prehensile or something, that we don't need it anymore. Is it prehensile? I can't remember.
It's prehensile. Like can have a prehensile tail.
Yeah. Which we don't need anymore.
Don't you know someone
Tail.
that has a tail?
Yeah,
Yes.
but she doesn't want to be revealed.
No, we can't tell you who it is.
Is it a cat? Oh, okay.
It's a human.
It's a human.
No, Mittens is so scared about her tail.
Don't talk to me.
But yeah, I don't think I have wisdom teeth because mine have not made any sign of coming through yet.
Yeah, we don't need them anymore because we used to use them when we ate like tree bark. But we don't need that anymore.
I'm sure some people do.
Yeah. So there are a couple of things that were like, evolution was like, we can get rid of these things. We don't need them anymore.
So why do we still have appendixes?
It takes a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are they disappearing?
I wouldn't be surprised if they are, but I don't
Oh,
know.
speaking of evolution, I read this news thing today. Apparently, in the younger generation, they've started growing a new bone in the back of their head. And they think the theory is that it's due to us using phones. Because we're spending much more time with... No? Do you
How
think?
would that impact
I
evolution?
don't... No, because apparently... Sorry.
I just thought the younger did.
It wouldn't be directly related to the phone, it would be the position.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it?
So because we're spending so much time with our head down, like people are forming, okay, not evolution, fine, we're developing a new bone. People are developing a new bone on the back of their skull, which is meant to balance the weight out because we're putting too much weight on the front of our heads
Okay.
and bending down.
Right.
So some people have developed a new bone on the back of their skull, which balances the weight out, so you now have more weight in the back of your head.
Weird.
I thought it was just your way of saying the younger generation of dickheads.
That too.
Continue.
Okay. So back to my paper here. So we've gone a bit off piste.
Slightly.
So to bring it back around. So a lot of the research that they do in like to looking at different behaviors in different species will have its roots in like evolution and looking at like why certain things are a certain way. So they were looking at animal behavior. So the title of this paper is Sexual Ornaments but Not Weapons Trade Off Against Testes size in primates.
What do you think that means?
Questions?
It just sounds like a Daily Mail headline.
What's a sexual ornament?
this could go in so many directions.
I had a nice vase once.
I really liked it.
Okay, what do you think a sexual weapon and a sexual ornament is?
Is it something to do with? Because I know some animals like kill each other when they have sex. So does that count as a weapon potentially?
Not exactly, but not far off.
That's my only
Very
guess.
sharp dildo.
This is nice, but not really. Tell us, Alice.
Yeah.
I will. So,
Asking the guy without a science GCSE what's that?
sexual ornaments are things that males usually, well, in this paper they focus on the male sexual ornaments. They're basically things that males have that make them attractive to females.
Like a scent.
Okay. Like a peacock does the
Yes.
feathers.
Yes. Not really like a scent, more like the
Okay.
peacock. So females might have sexual ornaments, but they seem to be a bit more prominent in males. And they are things that are going to be different between males and females. So if you think about and also they different species differ in the amount of sexual ornaments that they will exhibit. So some species don't really have any. The males and the females will look pretty much the same. So like swans. Male and female swans look the exact same. The only way you can tell them apart is because the male swans have a slightly bigger bump on their nose.
Oh.
Yeah. They have to be beside each other for you to tell the difference. So that would be...
Coming out with all the cool facts in this one,
I
aren't
know,
we?
yeah. That would be a species that doesn't have a lot of sexual ornaments. But if you think about species that the males and the females look really, really different, can you think of any?
Humans.
Yeah, but think of some animals as well.
Baboons.
Yes. So, bright colours are one thing.
Alex is way better at this game than you.
Yeah, Dan, you're falling short. We should start keeping score.
I'm scared.
Somebody get a marker. Okay, so Alex 2, Dan 0.
Pigeons.
Oh, pigeons actually are one.
Really?
Yeah, look, not all types of pigeons. I think they were called
Alright, 2-1.
Oriental pigeons, or they're not Oriental, they're Mandarin ducks, and they're not pigeons.
Fuck's sake, Alex.
Okay, sorry, not pigeons.
You're close, Dan.
Back to 2-0, is it? Okay.
Mandarin ducks.
Ooh,
They have
That's what I
wings.
meant, sorry.
Can you think of any other ones?
lions.
Yeah, you just saw the picture.
I
I was
did.
scrolling past. You're a wagon. Okay, look at this one. This one's crazy. So there's a fish called a anglerfish.
Oh, they're weird. They're in the deep sea and they got that shit that hangs off their head with the light.
yeah.
Oh, like the one from Finding Nemo.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah, but they're fucked. So they exhibit one of the biggest.
Not very nice.
No, they really are.
I don't think we get a lot of anglerfish listeners, though, so I think you're okay with that one.
You never know.
As the seas start rising. So climate change.
So they are one of the biggest exhibits of. So when you've got a lot of sexual ornaments, so much that it's nearly looks like a different species, they call it, or they group them all together and call it sexual dimorphism. So sexual dimorphism basically means that the males and the females look really different. So you could have a species that's really sexually dimorphic, or you could have a species that's hardly sexually dimorphic at all.
What
But
would
this
you call
one-
it if they're not?
That it would be what did they say here?
Monomorphic.
Yeah? Mono? Yeah. So this anglerfish, the females are about a foot in length, and the males are barely half an inch.
Oh.
Look, it just hangs on the bottom of her.
Wait, so okay, in my head, the way they mate is he just shoots his entire self into the vagina.
So he hangs onto her, and he's a parasite.
So that's how most of it happens.
So he's a parasite, so I don't exactly know what happens, but he just
I find it interesting that in a lot of species, especially sort of aquatic ones, the females tend to be bigger than the males.
yeah. So that would be a dimorphism. And another one's orangutans. Look at the orangutans. Look at the man orangutan and the female.
Oh yeah, they are very.
The men look really
dimorphic.
different. Very dimorphic, yes.
Very dimorphic.
You're right. So yeah, that would be sexual ornaments. So kind of they list off some of the common ones in primate species, and these would be things like
Great spot for a patch advert.
fleshy swellings.
Ew, wait, on a female?
No, on a male. These are all on a male.
Oh, like baboons.
Yeah, or
Or penises.
like the orangutan cheek things.
Okay.
They're fleshy swellings.
Gross.
Or have you seen those
I really
the
don't like
proboscis
the
monkeys?
phrase fleshy swellings.
Yeah, it's gross.
All right, mate. Can I see your fleshy swelling? Oh.
It's so gross.
It's pretty gross. Contrasting coloration of exposed skin areas. So that's like the baboon. And hairy traits. For example, tufts, manes, or beards.
For listeners who can't see us, Alex has a beard.
And Dan does not.
He tries.
I shaved recently.
He tries. Can't
Like
grow
3
one.
months ago.
4.
So yeah, these would be really common examples of ornaments on males in various different primate and mammalian species.
Fleshy swellings and beards.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, both of those.
50%.
Yes. So basically they were looking at, so there's a few interesting sentences which I enjoyed in this paper. So they kind of were looking at, basically, there's a thing called sexual selection. So that would be evolution, and it's like the evolutionary pressure on, I guess, what traits continue that are favourable in being like the monkey king.
You don't want the
terms
weak
of-
one.
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
Natural
exactly.
selection.
Yeah, but we're talking specifically about
Sexual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sexual traits.
Okay.
Okay. So they've identified 3 trait areas that influence this. So 2 of them they refer to as pre-mating traits, groups of traits, and one of them is a post-mating trait or group of traits. So the 2 pre-mating ones are weapons. So strong monkey. What?
Animal scientists are weird.
When I was reading this, I was trying to come up with like analogies and things, and I was like, this is just so strange.
What should we call it? Sexual weapon, I guess.
So yeah, basically, strong weapons. And then the other one is ornaments. So if you think about weapons, that would be strong monkey.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to go to Alice's notes are sexual weapons are strong monkeys and sexual ornaments are sexy monkeys.
That's what it is, like in like very basic terms.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically, and then then these both determine who gets to mate with the females. But then the post mating, this kind of, I was a bit like, stop throwing shade to the female monkeys. So basically, it was saying that. Hang on, I need to find this exact line.
If you had to pick between a strong monkey and a sexy monkey, which monkey would you want?
I'm probably going to get arrested.
That's how AIDS started.
Oh, sorry.
And it was a strong monkey first.
It was
I mean, I'd probably go for the sexy monkey.
Really? I think I'd go for the strong monkey. Is this a difference between male and female opinions and what they look for?
I mean, even in humans, people like the big guys and some like. I mean, nowadays as well, men are a lot more.
Yeah,
well
but
put together.
the strong monkey would be a bigger guy.
So this is kind of what they're investigating, because what they're saying is that between the 3 trait areas, so I haven't gotten to the final one.
Cliffhanger.
Fertile monkey.
So we've got strong monkey, sexy monkey, and fertile monkey. And basically, you can be a little bit of each, but it says males have a limited pool of resources.
Wait, is that women?
No, males.
No, wait, hang on. Are we the pool of resources?
No, within themselves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that's the confidence of the monkeys going down.
So basically, men have 3 things and 3 things only.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And basically, if you're a really strong monkey, the theory is that if you're super strong, you put all your resources into the weapons, and you won't be very fertile or very sexy.
God, imagine that's all you can bring to the table is being fertile. Yeah, I'm not strong, I'm not sexy, but my sperm's okay.
That's good. For
50 yards,
a lot of
50
women,
yards.
that's an important trait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a really weird way to open up the conversation.
Yeah, like, you can't really start with that. Like, that's not an opener.
I'm Alex, yeah.
Very fertile.
Just quote your sperm count. Yeah.
12, is that good?
Right now, I need a tissue.
Okay, so just to introduce the fertile monkey a little bit more. So we've got strong monkey, which is the weapons. And the weapons basically are advantageous because this is when, you know, when like two monkeys are going to compete over a female and they fight. So it's a physical like aggression kind of thing. And whoever wins gets the female. She doesn't get a say in it. So, and then sexy monkey has got lots of ornaments. So these can act as status symbols to other males, so it will keep them away. So it's kind of like and it doesn't involve like physical fights, so it's good because then they won't get injured. So they'll just like the other males be like, oh look, the size of his
Fleshy swelling.
Well, that's a lot of fleshy swelling.
Basically,
He's got me.
Yeah, and they'll be like, no, I can't fight him. And then also they kind of are a bit of a dual threat because they'll keep other males away, but they also are a sign of mate quality for females. So they'll be like, ooh, look at his fleshy swelling.
So I'm just imagining a fight between the strong monkey and the fertile monkey. Like one squaring up and the other one just spunking on him.
I think I'm winning! It feels like I'm winning.
And just the sexy monkeys just on the corner like, ooh, I really like the fertile monkey.
So then basically they say in this, they're like, well, so these are the two things that help them get the girl. But then it says, since the females of most species throughout the animal kingdom mate with more than one male before breeding, competition amongst males will also involve post-mating competition, which is the fertile. So basically it's who has better, in this paper, bigger testicles, or like better sperm, or better ability for sperm production, or I don't like that word.
Who was going around and measuring
Ejaculate,
monkeys' balls? Who was-
So
These ethologists.
yeah.
Animal
Weird
scientists
bunch
are
of
weird.
people.
For any animal
But I mean,
scientists,
human scientists aren't that great either. Alice walks around with poo in her bag, so.
it has nothing to do with her study either.
No.
That's no way to talk about her cooking.
Oh god. Okay. Anyway. So
Sorry, monkey balls.
So monkey balls. So yeah, basically this study wanted to see how, so there's quite a strong, or like there's evidence that if the fertile monkey, so testicle size, it's a kind of a trade-off between whether you're going to have big testicles or whether you're going to have weapons. So that's been like kind of seen. So they found that their weapon that they measured in the monkeys was canines, so their canine size. So when canine size increased, testicle size decreased. So they said that the monkeys were putting all their resources towards canine size at the expense of their testicles. But interestingly, they said that this isn't necessarily while it might sound like it's a better idea to have bigger testicles, actually by having bigger canines they were able to fight off all of the other monkeys. So their testicles didn't need to perform as much because they could just have all the females, basically.
I was going to say, because I'm pretty sure I saw one of the Blue Planet episodes. It was like focused on primates.
Well, Blue Planet's about the sea, so probably not.
What's the one? What's the other one?
You're going back to your porn membership.
Dynasties.
Dynasties, that's the one. If we could just scrap all of it out. So I was watching Dynasties, and there was an episode about that. And because it was like the younger, stronger monkey, but the other guy sort of still threatening everyone else, so they stayed away. But then one day the younger one was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna fight him.
Yeah, he was like,
just
today
messed him
my
up.
canines are the right size.
Yeah, and then they all left the older one, and then he fought his way back.
You know, that
His name was
episode-
David.
Yeah.
The monkey was David.
That episode blew my mind. Like, the actual real complex social thinking and the way they behave was mind-blowing. Like, it's crazy. They're so clever.
Monkeys are great.
On
Like-
Dynasties.
Yeah, like, their social complexity is crazy.
Mad.
Anyway, back to monkey balls.
Yeah. So basically, while they've seen a relationship between canine size and ball size, they haven't seen a relationship between the sexy monkey traits. So I think in this they looked at
Wait, was fleshy swellings a weapon or an ornament?
an ornament.
Okay, so
Yeah.
between fleshy swellings and ball size.
I think specifically here they looked at... so they basically gave each species a score, an ornamentation score. So they looked at each species and they were like, okay, you don't have any ornaments, you get a 0. You have these ornaments, you get a 2. and they scored them. So they had an overall ornament score. It wasn't like, oh, you've got a fleshy swelling and you've got small balls. It wasn't like that. They looked at like everything. So yeah, they wanted to see if there was any relationship. And basically they didn't do anything very fun, unfortunately. Like, you know, the way you were like, how do they measure balls? I was kind of looking forward to finding that out also. But they didn't measure them themselves. It was all secondary data. So they just were like, okay, can we have some of this?
Explain what secondary data is?
It's like when you don't gather it yourself. So it's been gathered by other people but not necessarily used.
So they subcontracted out the ball measuring.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. And another thing that they did was, so they gathered information about ornaments. So they looked at 42 monkey species, and they gave them all an ornament score. But they only measured the ball size of 8 species. And then they did correlations. And I was like, how does that work? And what they were looking at, they were trying to see whether one or the other had more of an effect on in species where females were monopolized. So they thought,
what does that mean?
Where like there was a dominant male and he was he had
He had all the girls.
a harem of all the women. Yeah. So they didn't look at species because those are species that have more ornamentation. Where there isn't a dominant male, there isn't that many ornaments because they're not as important. Because they all just kind of flit around. It's not as important.
So that's like, basically women are shallow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what this is saying.
Cool.
It doesn't really, it actually says that sometimes the females in some of the species can have ornaments. And they kind of control for it in some sort of weird way, but I don't really understand.
Human
Sometimes
females
they
do.
go for the nerdy monkey with the glasses. And the one that's funny.
Actually, the nerdy monkey with the glasses probably needs to have bigger testicles because he doesn't get as many opportunities.
No, so he needs to be super
when he
fertile.
does, he needs to hit the mark.
Make it happen.
But females have ornaments. We have boobs.
So they take out of the equation sex organs.
Okay.
So breasts are considered a sex organ.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. Although they were talking about some monkeys. Have you ever seen those monkeys with the big noses?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they were kind of discussing. They're like the proboscis monkeys. Yeah. So they were talking about how they took out the traits. So like they didn't take into account like the genital area because obviously that's different in every species anyway. But then they were saying how some monkeys will have like brightly coloured penises. So they've got bright red penises. And they're really skinny.
Ew.
They're terrifying.
Ew.
They are terrifying.
Okay.
Demelza.
I got cream for that. Yeah.
We need proof.
Do we have a conclusion to this paper?
Yeah. So they found that the ornaments, when they took together the score, increased amount of ornaments meant you had smaller testicles. But in their study, they also looked at weaponry. So they looked at canine size, and they found that canine size, if you had bigger canines, you actually have bigger testicles, which is different to what the previous research found.
Very different.
So, they were like, we cannot draw any robust conclusions.
But
And that
did
was
they
that.
have like massive canines but tiny hands? Or something?
They didn't
Like, hey,
measure
what's the weapons? Like, what's the weapon choice here?
between canines and what. Even.
Oh, it's like a Savaloy.
Like,
Savaloy.
Oh, gross.
isn't it
It
terrifying?
is like a Savaloy.
What the fuck is a Savaloy?
The-
Or like fish and chip sausage.
Yeah, the red sausage. Oh, you wouldn't like them, to be honest.
But what are they?
It's sausage.
What if you
Why
love
is it-
monkey penises? You love Savaloy.
It doesn't sound like a food.
Savaloy.
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 Yeah.
Savaloy.
It sounds like Teflon or like
Savaloy. Savaloy.
Oi, oi, Savaloy.
Yeah, that's a term.
like a material that a frying pan should be made
I
of.
love
Have you never
Savaloy.
been catcalled like oi oi Savaloy?
No one's ever.
That's a thing.
That is a thing.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
Oi oi Savaloy.
Not that I've ever done it. Just listeners,
Just
dear
listeners.
listeners.
If my lawyer's listening, just try to text.
Why would you ever think that calling a female something that's a sausage?
There's a lot of things that guys say to girls that don't make sense. That's a whole different podcast.
Okay. Is that the end of the paper?
So back to monkey balls.
Kind of, yeah.
Cool. So, if we try and relate this back to humans.
Yeah. So they did mention there was an interesting part about humans that I wanted to read out. So they were kind of the main paper focused on monkeys, obviously, but they gave a few examples of like ornaments in humans. So they said that
This is the reason I wanted Alice to do this paper.
why?
The human bit.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's true. Because when you sent it to me and you were like, oh yeah, it's all about beards, and I started reading it and I was like, it's about testicles. It's not about beards.
This has gone off track.
This is really like, Carrie, why did you send me this paper? So they were giving some examples of like actual solid things that have been measured, showing that males with more ornaments do better with the females. So the examples they gave were male orangutans with the flanged faces obtain more mating partners than unflanged males.
Gross.
So if you don't have fleshy flanges,
If you're going to
I
have a
thought
fleshy swelling,
phalanges
then you're
were
not going to get the
fingers.
ladies.
and then male proboscis monkeys,
Nothing.
male proboscis monkeys, so the big nose ones, with larger noses, have larger harems, so that's what they call their
Group of women.
group of women, than those with smaller noses. And then the next example they gave was men with more masculine faces are perceived as being more attractive and report a greater number of sexual partners than men with less masculine faces.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so that was the human example they gave. And they were taking into account the beards
Masculine
there.
faces being...
Beards.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
There we go, Alex.
Wish that would work.
And yeah, that's kind of it.
Wait, so weapons in human context would be like big muscles?
They don't give weapons in human context because I don't like.
Okay, but let's theorize.
Okay,
Let's
fine.
discuss.
Massive teeth.
Traps.
Massive teeth.
Look, no, that's vampires. Oh.
So yeah, so weapons in a human context with males would probably be like big muscles, tall, broad.
Yeah.
And then an ornament in a human context would be beards.
Kind of-
Chest hair?
Maybe just hair in general.
Hair?
They say hairy features are,
Yeah.
are what?
Hair. So hair is the main thing.
Yeah.
The main takeaway.
So basically, if you have a beard, you're going to have small balls.
Alex.
I don't like this study.
So we have...
This is why Curie made
is
me
why.
do this paper.
Because
for
of the
this
Alex-
comparison.
So Alex has a beard and Dan doesn't. So have you two ever compared your testes sizes?
Well, at Alex's job interview, we just put our balls out on the table to sort. We're like, okay, I can assert dominance now.
Once we have that cleared up.
Yeah.
And then fertile monkey would be fertility
Big balls,
in a
small teeth.
human. Big balls, small teeth. So
Judging
for
guys by their teeth.
Some of the other things to do with fertility were like having
Smile at me. Smile at me.
like it was all about like sperm form and function. And this word, which I also don't like.
seminal fluid.
Sperm form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What,
So
like-
what it looks like.
Yeah. So that it was like
Like-
basically like as not aerodynamic, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like good swimmers.
So it's not a square one, just giant.
Like banging into everything. No.
Where am I going?
I have a question for
Good
the
eyesight.
males, seeing as we're like talking about testicles. I was listening to a podcast this afternoon, and they're telling a story about one of their friends. He said that, so this person's friend said that one time his testicle like went up into his pelvis, and he had to like pop it back down.
Ooh.
And then apparently all the other males in the group were like, "Oh yeah, that happens." Does that happen?
To them, maybe.
Is this a common thing?
Not to me. No.
But do your like balls move up? Like, do they move out of the sack?
Well,
No,
no, like
they move up and down with the cold. It's temperature.
No, I'm like, because I'm
That's-
just wondering.
that's
I
one
don't
of-
know how balls work.
It's a weird life hack. If like, if you feel massively hot, if you like feel like you're sweating,
Okay.
but your balls are quite low, that
This
means
is
you've
for the
got a
guys,
fever.
by the way.
That means you've got a fever.
Oh no way!
Ah.
Because the sperm can only stay at like 18 degrees or something like
Yeah.
that. So it contracts into the body
Yeah.
if it's cold. So if you're feeling really hot but your balls are low, that means your body doesn't really think that it's cold.
Wait, hang on.
It's trying to protect your balls are trying to protect themselves by staying low.
So it means you've
Because
got
the
a
actual
fever.
environment's cold, but you're
Yeah.
really
Wait,
hot.
as in if your balls are lower than normal.
Higher.
No,
If they're-
if
if
they're
they're
lower than they should be for the temperature you're feeling.
But you're saying you're feeling hot.
Yeah, no, so imagine it's cold outside, but I'm like, oh, I feel really hot.
Oh! Sorry. I forgot it was your environmental temperature that affects your ball hanging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well done.
Oh,
So,
that's good.
That's a free one for you guys.
By guys,
useful.
it's Guy in the room.
That's quite interesting, actually.
Yeah, I never knew that.
Yeah. No, you'll be like, oh, am I ill? And have a little fun.
Dan, you're serving someone. So I'm checking for you.
I think I have
Making
a
sure I'm
fever.
okay, guys.
But no, at no point has my ball ever gone into my body. I've had it where it's kind of like twisted before, and that's causes excruciating pain. And I did have to go home from work once because it was really painful.
Ooh. Have you ever caught your balls in your zip?
No.
Like in the movies.
What's the movie? Is it Long King Polly?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it is with Ben Stiller. No,
No, it's one with Cameron
Adam
Diaz.
Sandler.
No, it's Ben Stiller and Cameron Diaz.
Oh, there's something about Mary.
Yes, that's the one.
Oh, that's traumatizing.
No, that gives me nightmares. That doesn't happen
Yeah.
because we wear like boxes and stuff. So,
I'm sure it does happen.
for any listeners out there who've trapped their balls, please email us.
I mean, if you go commando, I'm sure it happens.
I should
Never go commander.
Yeah, never go commando.
Why?
Too risky.
And, that,
With your balls
and it
move.
depends what you're wearing.
That's it.
Yeah, and like if I'm wearing jeans, I don't want get friction burn.
Ugh.
Don't want that.
Also the dot of shame.
What?
Oh,
The dot of shame, if you go for a pee, and then you shake it off, but there's still the one drop left, and then...
I just pee. That's what I just pee all over the place. So.
No, on,
that's a
on your
great
clothes.
tactic.
Oh yeah, I wash my hands. Yeah. Not that this happens.
When you walk out with darker
Sure, he's
shoes
like-
than you went in with.
Interesting.
Green shoes. They were white before.
They're going too far now. We can't relate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're out of the conversation now.
Yeah.
It's only mica testicles.
Do girls ever do you ever stand up above the toilet and try and pee?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
But not like a squat. Like have you ever tried to stand straight with legs?
Yeah. Have you ever,
I've never
have
done
you
that.
ever tried? Just out of curiosity, not for actual purpose.
It would just.
Yeah.
You'd like.
This is what science is made for.
I've tried standing above the. Obviously, you have to put your legs on either side of the toilet, not where men stand, because then obviously it won't go in the toilet. But if you stand with your legs on either side, and then I've tried that before to see
But
if it
then
would go
would
in.
it still not go in?
No, it does go in.
Does it?
But then, and I feel like it might be going off course because sometimes you can't predict where which
you
direction
can't.
pee is going to come out.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of preparation would have to go into that as well, like undressing, hanging everything up on the cubicle door, and then getting ready.
Oh wait, hang on! I'm not doing this in public.
Oh.
God, that was a great McDonald's. Come on, quick, pop in, guys.
Yeah, in my home, in the comfort of my own home, I've tried it. And yeah, when I feel like my pee might be unpredictable, or I mean, not that I do this regularly. I did it when I was young, and or my pee starts changing directions, then I'll just sit. And then you're just straddling the toilet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Backward.
Well, how else am I going to stand over the toilet?
So if you ever walk into Curie's hugging the system,
I have my head facing out as well. Be back to that.
Have you ever gone to the toilet and you didn't realise the lid was down and you peed on top of the toilet?
what?
I actually think I have done that. I think I did it once when I was it was, when you wake up in the middle of the night and you really need to pee.
Yeah.
And you're just your eyes are still asleep. And then just wandered into the bathroom and then I was like, fuck!
I was going to say, how close do you run it? Because, if I'm not, as soon as I'm, 1 inch away, start going.
Oh, I've done that so many times. Especially when you get home, you cross that threshold when you're home.
Yeah.
That's when your toiletry needs completely go
Yeah.
all over the shop. You're okay, now I really need to go. And in a minute, I'm on the toilet, pow.
Pow!
It's mostly because of the pain.
And we had really nice curry earlier today. So,
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Do you think there's anyone who ever sat down on the toilet the way that you hug a toilet when you're trying to stand? You used to think that was like a tray or something.
Probably.
You sit down with a meal or put your phone down with a
100%.
movie.
There has definitely been someone who had a meal on the toilet like that. 100%.
this has changed my life.
That definitely exists.
My toilet time is just
Gotten
changed.
infinitely more entertaining.
How
I could have
often
a candlelit dinner.
How often do you guys treat yourself to a sit-down wee?
I'm pretty much
All
most
the
times I go to the toilet. Anytime at home,
I'm a sit down weird.
yeah.
That's fascinating.
Mostly because I used to use my phone.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Sometimes you get some extra poop out as well. So good for the diet.
Good for the diet.
Yeah.
No mess, get to check my phone. It's fine.
I mean, I think we've officially finished talking about this paper.
I was just about to talk about my swollen...
Your fleshy swelling.
fleshy swelling. Yeah. That's where this is all leading to, but I guess we can
I
wrap
was
it
about to
up.
talk about my tiny testicles.
We're going to have to get you guys to measure when you go home and tell us if it's true.
Are we
But we'll need to get you in a controlled environment, so we need both your temperatures to be the same.
Yeah.
And for neither of you to have a fever and measure your testicles.
Or maybe we
Anything
should
else?
both get a fever.
Both
Malza,
get
can you
fever?
fact check the method of measurement
A
of
fever you can't swallow.
primate testicles, please?
Your search history is going to be great. and we'll need a sample size of 3 in each group. So we need 2 more people with beards and 2 more that can't grow beards.
Oh, so I just thought you meant I needed to have 3 testicles.
Just pray really hard. Evolution!
Yeah. It's come down from a pelvis.
So do you guys have any questions or comments about the paper? It was a very different paper to what we would normally do.
So essentially they're saying that you have to either be a strong monkey, a fertile monkey, or a sexy monkey. You can't be all 3.
No, but they're saying that if you are swaying a bit more towards one, it's going to take away from the others. They're kind of saying that you'll have small amounts of all 3, but everybody sways in a certain direction, and then they're trying to kind of see what is more advantageous.
Oh, okay.
So just to... Because you're saying when you have a little bit of one, you like put all your eggs in the basket. Is that something that they sort of will figure out? They go, actually, I'm a bit of a sexy monkey. I bet I'm gonna change myself and be really sexy.
Play to your strengths.
I'm sure there's...
Maybe, it probably is, because
Yeah.
that's what evolution's all about.
There's
I have
gonna
fucking
be-
great teeth.
There's going to be a big gene environment play going on here. So yeah, it's going to be your genetics that determine your features, especially the sexual weapons. It's going to be a lot of genetics.
It's all genetic, isn't it?
Yeah, but then with I suppose in a I mean these are all genetics.
It's all-
These are all physical features.
Yeah.
But
They're
in terms-
traits.
Yeah, but if
Yeah.
we go for a human population, maybe sexual ornaments will be a bit more environmental. But also your fertility will be environmental. There'll be a lot of environmental factors in your fertility.
If you got a fever or not.
But do you reckon are there I don't know if the study covers it, but are there monkeys who are in one? They are in one category. They're definitely like a fertile monkey. There's nothing else to bring to the table, but they try to be another one and they just fail really badly.
That's
Yeah.
the type of thing that I feel like David Attenborough would capture
Yeah.
in the next
I'm
series
not
of
sure
Dynasties.
I'm not sure. Maybe they do to a small extent. I think
Is that
for
like
sure in
another
humans
outcast
that
or
would
something?
happen.
Yeah,
But I don't know if monkeys are actually developed
it's
enough
little man
to.
syndrome. That's called.
I don't know if monkeys are developed enough to go against their genetics. Maybe, unless maybe you do have monkeys that are just trained to try and get stronger and fight better.
Maybe they
Some little tiny monkey lifting a log of wood.
Cute.
It's a little Rocky montage.
Maybe that does happen. Can you look up if monkeys train?
Monkey gym.
Do monkeys lift?
Or I don't know. Do monkeys do exercise to make themselves strong? I don't know.
Hashtag monkey games.
Anyway, while
And
we
so
wait for that.
sexy monkey, would that be things
I love how this is taken on. It's better than I ever imagined.
It's good.
Isn't it? Yeah.
So would that be analogous to like people wearing makeup? And,
Which one?
Like
Sexy
guys.
monkey.
Sexy
Sexy
monkey.
monkey.
It would be beards.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like, or like, you know the way they say there's certain facial features on women that are more attractive to men as well.
Yeah. So it'd be like maybe like
Like a big Adam-
symmetrical.
like
big Adam's
cheekbones
apple.
and like,
Yeah.
yeah, on men.
Big hands.
And big hands. Why is everyone obsessed with hands? This is something I never realized.
No,
before.
but that's true because it's quite freaky if you meet a man and he's got small hands.
There's people that me and Kira know who have hands that don't match up to them. We are uncomfortable.
Yeah, like I think hands are important on men.
I don't think my hands match up to me. They're much skinnier
No, I think they
than the
do.
rest of me.
Like stumps.
I've got quite big hands, so
You do have big hands.
it's very manly. It puts me in the manly section of.
So you're in the strong monkey
I'm in the
section.
strong monkeys.
Yeah, because you're not a sexy
I'm
monkey.
not sexy. Got some bad news about my fertility as well.
No, but I think you would be a strong monkey because you are tall, broad.
I used to climb.
Okay, you are tall, broad.
Don't forget.
You got big hands.
Yeah.
And you are generally quite strong, so you would go in the strong monkey. But if we go based on what these are, Alex would go in sexy monkey.
And that's
Don't laugh!
That's your new nickname at work.
I don't know what kind of monkey are we talking about.
Hey guys,
what kind of monkey am I going into?
I'm a sexy
Have you got any answers for
Well, we actually don't know if either of them would be fertile monkey yet because we haven't measured their balls.
We haven't. Or measured their
on the
semen.
next episode of Lay It Out, the Bat Down and Axe compare their balls.
That's definitely laying it out. Yeah.
Any answer on the monkey behaviours?
Nothing like there's nothing that suggests that like different animals within a species do anything. Only that a whole species will do certain things.
That's fine. Will they train?
In a way, it's like barnacle geese before they do their massive migration. They'll do lots of short flights.
Oh, cute.
Oh, that's cute. It's like they're training for a marathon.
Yeah.
Adorable.
So I think I know how you guys can get a grant. Do monkeys lift? That's your research paper right there.
There you go, Curie.
I'll look
You'd
at
love
that.
that.
It's going
I
to be a
would.
really intense room, just loads of bench press monkeys.
That'd be so scary.
And you would just stop and look at you.
Yeah. Like if you got loads of, like lifting monkeys and they got really strong and then they were smart enough to be like, right, we're breaking out this bitch. Like monkeys are already crazy strong.
So
You're basically
literally
describing-
Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Rise of the Hedge Monkey.
Curie's like, I've got this great idea.
We're taking to Hollywood, baby. You're going to be a star.
We should never have let the monkeys live.
Where are the fertile ones? We just raise loads of sexy, strong monkeys.
Oh god.
All
I just
right.
imagine like monkeys in little like red bikinis.
Well, they're coming down from the trees.
Hello, sailor.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's it.
That was actually interesting.
Yeah, and it opened up a much interesting conversation.
I thought it would.
Maybe some related, some unrelated. Such as peeing over toilets.
Potato.
Do you know what though? You're gonna try this now, and you.
I don't know, because I just feel like we get
I
very messy.
bet you'll try it
I'm
now.
going to try it as well. No, it's completely changed my life. I can eat dinner. I'll set my laptop on top of this.
That's what I was imagining, like doing some work.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of guys spend enough time on the toilet doing a shit to eat. You could have a full meal while
That's
shitting.
One goes in, one comes out.
extremely unhygienic.
Is it though?
Poo particles.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you do get a lot of poo particles.
Okay.
That's why I
I
don't.
think we
brush
should
my
end it
teeth.
there because I don't like where this is going.
Okay. Cool. Did you guys learn some stuff?
Yeah.
I did, yeah.
It's
What did you learn?
sexy monkeys.
Monkeys with big teeth have tiny balls.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
That is the
If I
main
ever
take
get-
home.
If I ever get attacked by a monkey, I'm like, your teeth are massive. I know your secret.
That's why you're so aggressive.
Cool. Well, that's good. This was a very interesting paper.
Thanks for the paper,
Thanks for
guys.
finding it, Curie.
You're welcome. We don't have any guests lined up anymore.
Do you know?
No.
When did this happen?
Quite a while ago.
Oh,
So we need to do some planning for the next few weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Other than that, thank you very much for listening. Thank you to Dan and Alex for coming on and being our guests this week.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
If anyone wants to follow the Guardhouse on Twitter, at the Guardhouse on Instagram, and give us a 5-star review on TripAdvisor, Google, and Design My Night. My name's Dan.
You also need some reviews on Hitched.
And Hitched as well, apparently.
That's crazy. Hitched. That sounds like a dating app.
Hitched is like
People
wedding
get married.
stuff.
Yeah. Okay, that
I
makes
mean,
sense.
So sort of dating.
Yeah.
of course.
when you've been dating a bit, I guess.
It's like chronic dating.
Goodbye. Oh, you can follow us on Twitter.
You nearly forgot our
I
fields.
did.
Was Dan took over with his?
He did. He was so professional.
You can follow Lay It Out on at the Guardhouse.
And don't forget to write to the Guardhouse.
You can follow us on Instagram
Yeah.
or Twitter on @LateOutPodcast.
You can email us on layerchatpodcast@gmail.com. Rate us 5 stars on iTunes, Spotify, whatever you're listening to us on. Can you even do ratings on Spotify?
I don't know. Do we get ratings ever?
Yeah,
Do we?
Yeah.
What do we get?
5 stars usually.
Oh,
Have you
nice.
Have you had 1 star?
Have we ever gone? Yeah.
No.
No.
I don't think we've had any bad ones.
Oh, that's good.
I haven't checked it for a while actually.
I'd quite like some
Well.
bad ones. I mean, no publicity is bad publicity.
I mean, for
My
us,
favourite thing to do is to go on TripAdvisor and read the 1-star reviews. It's so funny.
Okay, but we're not famous, so bad publicity is no publicity for us.
Oh, fine.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway,
Patch, please sponsor us.
we'd really enjoy it.
Giles, if you're listening, want to come down to the guardhouse? It's good publicity for me.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Da, da,
Bye.
da, 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 da,
Bye. Bye.